Good evening, everybody, and happy to be here to talk about the eclipse. My name is Jim Todd. I'm the Director of Space Science Education at OMSI. I'm also the President of the Road to the Astronomers Club. So I have a couple of hats I'm wearing tonight. But I'm going to be talking about a unique event that's coming up on October 14th. It's coming very soon. So hopefully you have plans. On that Saturday morning, take the day off, don't go to work, and get the opportunity to see the eclipse. So I'm going to talk about the eclipse coming in 2023, and also what's coming up in 2024. But before I start, how many of you saw the one in 2017, August 21st? Okay, and you remember that, don't you? Do you want to see it again?
Yes.
Okay, so that's all the excitement. It's because people remember 2017 and they want to see it again and again and again. Right? So
It's on my glasses.
we try not to jinx that. We don't want to jinx that, yeah. Yeah, we'll talk about that. Can you see the screen over here? All right, so let's go ahead and get started. And hopefully you can see the screen. And so here are some of the things that we want to look at. First of all,
that might be hidden underneath here.
there it is. Okay. So what is this? Look at those two. What's happening? You've seen this before. Okay. And when and where can you see it? Those are the kind of questions that come up when we talk about eclipses.
Yes.
So also,
Okay, next. We're going to talk about these solar eclipses. One is happening in just a few days, and then one happening in 2024. Next. Okay, and now what this is that we have some three very important terms that is used when you talk about an eclipse. Right? And some of these you might recognize from the 2017, but there's one key word that's really different. Well, this one that's coming up on October 14th. We have the umbra, which is the darkest part of the shadow of the moon touching the surface of the earth. Okay? That was the path that everybody was looking for in 2017. It wasn't very wide. Outside of that, it's called a penumbra, the outer shadow. Okay? That's what we see at what we call the partial. Right? But what's different about this one is the new word called entumbra. Entumbra, what it means that the focal point for the umbra is not touching the earth, but it's away from the earth. So what you have is a continuation of the shadow, but going past the focus point, now spreading out. And so that's why it appears as a ring. So in other words, if you were right there on a spaceship, you head towards the shadow, go up away from the earth, eventually you'll start seeing the totality when you get closer and closer to the focal point. But when you move away, it gets wider and wider. Okay? Next. What makes it for the eclipse is that the sun and the earth and the moon are perfectly lined up. Okay? Now, why doesn't this happen every month? When we have a new moon, why don't we see an eclipse? When we have a full moon, why don't we see a lunar eclipse? It's called the nodes. And so each month we get a new moon and full moon, but it's called the node. The alignment has to be perfect for all three to line up. And so that means that every year we get at least one eclipse. We have to be at the right place at the right time, either solar or lunar. Generally, there are two, one solar And then 14 days later, there'll be a lunar. In fact, one in October, we have a solar on the 14th. 14 days later, there's going to be a lunar eclipse. But bad news for us, we won't see it. Okay? It's a partial. It's on the other side of the world. Okay? So it usually coincide with each other in that event. Okay? Next. Okay, so also a very important term that you want to use or talk about when we talk about the eclipse. It's the size of the moon compared to the size of the sun. Okay, at the top, perigee means close. That means that the moon was close to the earth. Distance-wise, the disk of the moon is going to be bigger than the disk of the sun. That's why essentially that's what the word means. Totality. It covers the disk of the sun. When we have apogee, means far. Look at the distance between the two, 12% difference. It's far. The disk of the moon is smaller than the disk of the sun. It's 10% smaller. Okay, and that's why the word annular stands for ring, the ring of fire. Okay, outside of that, it's called a partial. Okay, and majority of people who are going to be watching this, like Portland and Ben, are going to be outside of that dark shadow. Next, please. Okay, so look at the width of the shadow. Here we have, this is 2024. This is a 2017. Notice the width of the umbra shadow. This is the umbra coming up on the 14th of October. This is the one that happened in 2021. Look at the width of that shadow. This is the umbra right there. Look how wide that is. And so you have more choices to look for the path than compared to 2017. Okay? That's the critical one for people who make a plan. Next. And so this is perigee. Remember, perigee means close. Right there. That's what creates the totality. The famous diamond ring. Okay? Hopefully you got to see that. It's like a blowtorch. It was really bright. And then you have the sequence that happened. It's generally about 2.5 hour long event from start to end. Next, please. And then the opposite, apogee. Okay, it means the moon is far. Now you can see essentially what it is. The entire sequence is partial. Okay, it's a partial all the way, not completely covered. That's probably why there's essentially less excitement about this than compared to 2017 totality. Yes, we'll get to the weather, okay? But there's a big difference between the two. Next. And there's a departure, okay? Notice, okay, doesn't look all that different than the angular, but it's just a little bit off center. Okay, next. Okay, it's essential imperative that if you're going to watch the eclipse, that you have the solar viewing glasses. Okay, and back in 2017, they were a hot item. Could not find them. Okay, so when you get the solar viewing glasses, make sure that it's certified with the ISO. Okay, and you learn how to wear them, and especially showing children how to safely look at the sun. Now everybody's trying to look at the sun, but it only takes 3 to 4 seconds to damage your eye by looking at the sun directly. Is it worth it in the memory sense to remember, oh, I have my eye damaged from looking at the eclipse in 2017 or 2023? Is it worth it? Okay? So it's important to get the glasses. And also, it's certified. If you still have 2017 glasses, they're probably still okay. As long as they didn't get wet. There's no scratches. There's no broken or holes in them. Throw it away. Okay, it's also a good idea to buy new ones anyway. Okay, and they're cheap, $3 to $4 or $5. We had them at the OMSI store. And we're gonna have up to about 10,000 glasses gonna be available for sale. Okay, now, are they a hot ticket? I think most people are watching the weather. Okay, they're waiting to see what happened at the last minute. Okay, like the weather that we have right now would be bad news. Okay, so I'm trying to be an optimist that we will have clear weather on the 14th of October. But it's essential to get glasses, and with the annular eclipse, from start to end, you wear them. You do not take them off. Even at maximum, you do not take them off. Even though 5% of the sun being exposed is still dangerous. Okay, so that's the critical part about this one. People are so used to totality, they go, okay, now I can look at it. At this point, you do not. Okay, next. Okay, so this is supposed to be a video. I'm not sure if the video is going to work on this computer. That's okay. But this is the video. You learn how to put them on. Put them on first, and then look up. Don't look up and look at the sun and put them on. Okay? You put them on first, and then look up. Okay? So show the children how to do it in the safe way. Now, another thing too, but most people, they put these on, they look at the sun with the filter, all that they see is the orange little ball. That's it. They expect something to be big and magnified. It's just a small little orange circle. A lot of people get disappointed with that. And they say, oh, I can't see them. So what do you think people do? But they use binoculars. Absolutely not. Okay, next. Okay, so part to end, wear your glasses. Right, every second of it. Okay, when you're not looking, take them off. Put them on. Get used to it. Okay, next. Even if it's partly cloudy. Okay, the safest way to view it is to be certified filters for the glasses, for the binoculars. They have these cups for the binoculars and white glass for the telescope. Those are safe. But you want to let everybody know that's around you, these are certified filters to be using. Next.
Where do you get those filters?
So
Oh.
this is a bad idea. And many people try to do this. They put their glasses on and then they try to look at it with unfiltered binoculars. Okay, absolutely not. If you see somebody doing that, you should have every right to shout them out. Okay, call them out. Okay, because it's dangerous. All it takes is 2 seconds to damage your eye in that fashion. Okay, next. What everybody's asking? What about these? Okay. What do you think? Is it a good idea? Okay. What are you going to do? You're going to try to line up the sun with your camera, right? You're looking at it. Okay. It's not going to come out anyway on these. It just won't come out. What people do, though, is this. Put it over their lens. Okay. That's okay. But it's very hard to focus. Very hard. Okay. Next. Oh, wait. Thank you. We have another feature with children. This is ideal. Look at the shadow. Get under a tree. If you have the strainer that you use in the kitchen, okay, that you drink water, those are brilliant. Those are fun. And then look on the surface, there's the shadow, the silhouette of the moon and the sun. A great photo opportunity. This is what you're going to see a lot of on the internet. Is this, all these photographs. When you see the shadow that we saw in 2017, maybe, but the chances are small. Okay, next.
Can I ask a question about those shadows? Like, how does that actually happen?
It's the laws of physics. Okay, what's happening is the light is traveling in a straight line. going to a very small opening. It's actually projecting the image of the image that you see behind you, the light is projecting the image on the ground.
What's the small opening? What did it's going?
Pinhole,
But I mean, I saw those things with nothing. I was just walking down the street. I could see them on the sidewalk.
yeah,
Like,
The leaves are overlapped and they admit a small opening, which is like a pinhole. So they end up.
Like a pinhole
being
camera.
a lens that will project the celestial excitement onto the ground in front.
how cool is that?
And
yeah, it is very cool, isn't it?
yeah,
Okay, next.
can you repeat when people are asking questions so that people at home can hear, because people at home can't hear
Oh,
me
okay.
and these questions, yeah.
Yeah, the question is, how does this work? And what's the physics behind it? Is that it's a pinhole, like a pinhole camera. It's projecting a very small amount of light, but it's the law of physics is creating that image from a very small hole where light is traveling in a straight line. Thank you for the reminder.
Yeah.
Okay, next. Okay, what about the pets? Should you worry about them? They're not looking at the eclipse. Okay, the humans are being distracted. So what happened? You should put the pet on the leash. People are loud, they're excited, and what happened when people are driving? Oh, there's an eclipse. So you'd be surprised. You want to take care of your pets. And so they're leashed, they're inside. They don't care about the eclipse. Okay. But they do notice the change. There's something changing, the light. Okay, the temperature drops, all of that. Okay, but it's important. Okay, next. Okay, so here's the formula for the 14th. Okay, we have on the night is apogee. Okay, this is the apogee. Remember the perigee, apogee, away and far. Apogee means far. Then we have the new moon on the 14th. Okay, this is the perfect combination to create what we call the annular eclipse. Okay, and then on October 14th, the moon will be 245,000 miles. Okay, so that's far. It's average about 235. Okay, so it's far on that day. And it's going to be 95% to the sun. So how much is left? 5%. That's a lot. Okay, it varies from annular eclipse to annular eclipse. And some are more, some are less. The one that gets to be about 1%, that is actually called a hybrid eclipse, both a totality and an annular. It's very, very, very rare. And but we have ourselves an annular eclipse coming up. Next. Okay, but that's important. You don't get to see this one. It's a great video that will show you the shadow and what have you. Unfortunately, we're not going to be able to see it on this computer. Okay? But it shows the shadow of traveling over Oregon. Next. Okay. But we do have a map. Okay. So here's what's happening on the 14th. Here's the path. Oregon is going to get first contact again. 2017, we were the first contact. Okay. And it's only going to take a few minutes for that shadow to go right across southern Oregon. In fact, this is the entire path right here. It could be the fastest moving shadow for the entire trip. 5,000 miles per hour. 5,000. Okay, it's moving very, very fast. It will make first contact over the Pacific Ocean. And then the first view will be Bridgeport, Oregon, North Bend, Coos Bay, and then Crater Lake, Klamath Falls, and then go down to Utah, the Four Corners. That's going to be fun. You'll go down to Albuquerque, New Mexico, and then finishing out over San Antonio. Roswell, New Mexico. And that's gonna be a party there. And then out over the ocean, but the whole event is gonna take about roughly 8 hours. From start to end.
So in 2017, I remember we talked about the path of totality. Is that what that is?
Yeah. Well, not totality,
It's
yeah,
not
but yeah,
totality.
yeah. But this is the path, look how much wider it is compared to the totality. It's much smaller.
Gotcha.
Yes, exactly. And outside of that, this is a partial. The further away you are from the path, the less coverage that you have. But this partial for your number goes all the way up to the Arctic Circle, all the way down to the Panama Canal. That's a big shadow. But everybody's talking about being in the path. Okay, we're expecting millions and millions of people to be along the path for the eclipse. And that's,
Will everybody along that path see the exact same thing?
I'm sorry.
Will everybody along that path see the exact same thing? Pretty much.
Very good question. Okay,
Will you repeat the question?
the question is, will everybody along this path be able to see the same thing? Essentially, yes. But more or less, no. Okay, that's a very good question. But what you want it, what everybody's looking for is the maximum time. It's the center line. For Oregon, it's going to be 4 minutes on the center line. But if you're in Corvallis, Albany, they're going to take 1 minute. So inside of the path itself, it's going to be less and less, but you get further and further away from the center line. It's complicated, but it's a very good question. Now, what would you see? The partial? Okay, yeah. An annular essentially is a partial. Okay, all the way around. Totality, that was a big deal. You had to be in the center line to see the entirety of the totality. And that's a big difference. Good question. Okay, next. Okay. Another video, this would have shown the shadow moving across the United States. And it's a great video. Unfortunately, we're not be able to see it. Next. Okay, so this is your question right here. Okay. Folks, if you see this, you see the center line, 4 minutes, 30 seconds. But you notice how it's split? Okay, that's Antumba for you. That's splitting. Okay. But if you go up here, you notice Corvallis and Albany are backwards, the map. Okay. Somebody's going to be very upset when they see this. Okay? If you're in Albany or in Corvallis, the map is backwards. Okay. So right at the border up there, they're going to see about 1 minute. Okay. If you're down at Crater Lake, 4 minutes. But there's no chance to get a room down there. They've been booked out for a very long time. Okay, down here, Grand Pass and Medford, 1 minute. If you are in Bend, you're just outside of that, that's a partial. But if you're in Sun River is right along the path, right on the edge. Okay, so I'm glad you brought that question up. Okay.
Waldo Lake, people like that might be a good spot if you were trying to camp. I don't know if it's campsite. Waldo.
Yep. Okay, next. Okay, now, people say, I love the map. Where can I get the map? This is an excellent map. If you take the QR code and grab it and then put it on your phone, put the cursor anywhere in the United States on that map, it'll tell you exactly when and where you can see the eclipse, how much, and so on. Okay. So this is a great map, not only for 2023, but 2024. Javier has done a great job with this map. Okay. And this is the one I use quite often. People say, I'm going to be in Albuquerque, New Mexico. You go to Albuquerque, you zoom in, click on it, it'll show you exactly how much, when, first contact, second contact, third contact, all of that. Okay. So I strongly encourage you to pick up on that on the QR code. Everybody get it? Those of you online, you should just be able to point to your screen. You should be able to grab it. And you want to bookmark it. It's not the only time you will use it.
Here, I can take a picture of it.
Is it grabbing on your phone?
Yeah.
Yeah. Bookmark it. Share it. It's very, very useful.
Anyone not getting it, want to do grab it?
Okay. Next. Okay, so unfortunately, this is also a video, not gonna work, okay? This is the view from Klamath Falls, Oregon, okay? This is from date and time, and then show you the sequence as it's happening. It's gonna be a 3-minute, 23-second, so it's not as long as Crater Lake, just outside of that. Okay, so the first contact will be 8:05 towards the east. And you need to look for an eastern horizon, it's clear. So if you're on Highway 101, you don't want to be looking over the ocean. You're gonna look towards the coast range. Okay, so that could be a problem. At the coast, you have all these trees, you have the coast range, you could be blocked from viewing it. Okay. And then 919 is called the first contact when the eclipse starts. This is the magic. But look at the direction and the height. 19 degrees. Right? It's low per se, but it's going to clear the trees and what have you. It should be visible. And then at 919 at the maximum 3-minute, 23-second, 20 degrees above the eastern horizon. And then it's all over 921. Separate, and then it's all over at 10:41. Okay. What you'll see is you do get the rain, but it's leaned over off center to the left, just a little bit to the left. Okay. And you would have seen that, but look at the other times and other resorts. Mount Basquiat, 1 minute. Dune City, 4 minutes. Nice. Okay. Newport, 3 minutes. Eugene, 3 minutes. Crater Lake, 4 minutes. Okay. So you have to kind of do your homework. Decide where you're going to be and the weather. We'll get to that. All right, next.
Where are you gonna be?
Where am I going to be?
Yeah,
I'll tell you.
okay.
I try not to let the world know, but I will tell you in just a few minutes. Okay. This is also would have been a video. This is Portland. Portland's going to get 86% partial. Okay, not bad. It's still pretty. It's technically an eclipse. Okay, so that's going to last for 2 hours 33 minutes. Okay, I will not be at Omni or at Portland that day. Okay, band is going to be 89%. That's pretty. And some people don't want to bother to travel. They just want to see the eclipse.
When you say 2 hours and 33 minutes, that's from start to finish.
Yeah, this is on date and time. You go to date and time, eclipse, then you enter your city, they'll give you that same kind of data. The major city, that is. Okay, okay, next. Okay. There's the center line right here. Okay. There's the outer line. This is Albany, Corvallis, the other way around. Okay. So this is where you want to be along this path. Okay. Next. Okay. Crater Lake. It's just gonna be gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. It's gonna be scenic. Okay. Now, if you've been to Crater Lake, the lodge will be open, but very limited restrooms, very limited parking, very limited highways. I know there's going to be a big party on the mountain there called the Eclipse Fest. That's going to be just outside of Crater Lake. It's going to be the repeat of what we had in 2017 in the meadows of the Ochoco Mountain. Okay, thousands and thousands of people. They're doing it again. They're gonna be in the mountain on near Crater Lake on that day for the Eclipse Fest. They would try very hard to get me to go there, but I'm not going there. Okay? So that's where it's gonna happen. You're gonna hear about them, no doubt. Okay, next. Okay. Now I'll tell you, I'm gonna be at Klamath Falls. Okay? I'll be at the Running Wild Resort. And it's a beautiful site. I planned it 3 years ago. After the 2017, I went to them and said, I want to be here. And we're doing an event there. I'm going to be the MC down there for the event. And happy to announce that we're going to be broadcasting from that site worldwide. There'll be a date and time eclipse. You go to the live stream. You might see me there on the video or the broadcasting. So we're going to be the first one. Okay, and then they're going to go to Roswell, then to Albuquerque to Texas, and then finish out in Colombia. Okay, so we're happy to say that we're going to be a part of this event. So you might recognize me or hear me on that live streaming. Hope to the weather gods that we will have clear skies that day. Okay, so that's where I'm going to be. We're going to be facing towards the southeast. Why Klamath Falls? Okay, well, climate-wise, they're about 4,000 to 5,000 feet. The high desert on the east side. There's a lot of good reason to be at Klamath Falls, not at Crater Lake, but at Klamath Falls. Okay, they can have their fun, but I'm going to be happy at Klamath Falls. Okay, next.
Is that what 40 degrees looks like?
Yeah, go back.
Off the
This is the start app, this is the video. Okay, this is first contact, and that's what it would look like. And then right about here, it would have been the ring. This is the video, so it's not working.
Right.
Okay, thank you. The question was, is this what it's going to look like from Klamath Falls? Essentially, yes, but if we have video, we would have seen it. Okay, okay, next. Okay. This is Oregon. Down here, this is the amount of clouds, okay? 1 at the top, 0 at the bottom. In 2017, we had the best climate in the nation for August. Everybody would come to Oregon. 2023, it's the opposite. They're not coming to Oregon. Right? So here's Crater Lake. There's Klamath Falls along that path, but look at the valley. Portland, Eugene. You know another thing too, what's happening on that day? Football. Okay. You know, essentially, more people are worried about football than they are worried about the eclipse. The hotel rooms are geared toward football, not the eclipse. Okay. And so at Oregon State, they're having homecoming week. At University of Oregon, they're not playing a home game. They're heading towards Seattle to play the Huskies. So what's going to be the freeway? There'll be a lot of traffic, right? And so that's another argument about why are we doing it from Eugene? Well, there's a reason for that. Hotels are very expensive for football games as well as the eclipse. Okay, next. Okay, here's another climate. Blue is good. Orange is bad of the valley. Okay, essentially we're seeing this the last few days, right? Okay, here in Portland and so on, it's been cloudy and rainy, but down at Klamath Falls it's clear. So my hopes are very high. Okay, so there's Klamath Falls. It's in the blue. It's in the desert, right down here. This is the red line. We were talking about the center line. If we're not on the center line, but we're pretty close. There's also not a lot of populated city along the path. Okay. Coos Bay, Florence, Newport, not bad. But remember, have to look towards the east, not towards the west. You have the forest, you have the tree. Where are the vantage point at the coast? Okay? Not much. Okay? So this is where most people are gonna be along here, but once you get out here, it's the desert, Kings Mountain, and that's. Okay? It's gonna be challenging. I can already tell you Oregon State Parks are totally booked for campgrounds. Totally gone. Okay? Most hotels, very, very full. But they're quadrupling their room rates just for this eclipse. Okay, next. Okay, this is the view from Crater Lake. Wouldn't that be gorgeous? You go out on the lodge, you get your cup of coffee, you sit on the deck, you watch the eclipse. Okay, that's how good it is. I considered it. I talked to them 4 years ago. They didn't realize there was going to be an eclipse. Okay, but they don't open their reservation until a year out. Okay, and I checked this year. I looked at the reservation. They shut down the lodge on October 8th. When's the eclipse? October 14th. So I emailed them and said, you realize that you're falling short of the eclipse? Oh, there's an eclipse happening? So they opened it up for the 14th and 15th. In 2 days they were gone. Okay. Did I book myself? No. No. I knew there was going to be that, that was going to happen. But look at that, isn't that gorgeous? Okay. They just had snow fell a couple of days ago up there. Okay. Boy, that would be a sight. Picture. Okay. Next. Okay. What we're going to see while we're doing this, we're going to look at sunspots galore. They're everywhere. Next. Okay. Temperature drops. Might get a little bit of wind breeze. Birds are quiet, but people are loud and they're celebrating. Okay? They should. That's why the pet needs to be inside. Okay? Now we see much of a temperature drop like 2017. You remember that? It did drop. It did. And birds got quiet, but the human got really loud. Okay? And we have like a rock concert at the fairground. I still have the video of it. It still gives me goosebumps when they were cheering. We had the taiko band on the stage with me, and then we stopped. We got everybody absorbed the view. Okay, next. Okay. Now, it would have been a video. What you would have seen. It's called the Bailey's Bead. Now, you might remember that from the 2017 when you see the shimmering. Okay. You would actually see that with the annular, but it's dangerous. What are the people going to try to do to see the Bailey's bead? They're going to try to lower their glasses. Because your filter will filter out the Bailey's bead. Okay? So the best way to do it is use a camera to see the Bailey's bead. I try not mentioning it too much because people are going to have the temptation. There it is, there it is. They're going to look at it. It's like a blowtorch. Okay, next. Okay, this is if you take the atmosphere away. This is the sun right here. Planet Mars and Mercury are going to be right next to the sun, but there's no chance you're going to see it because there's just too much light scattering, just too much sunlight to see it. Where in 2017 we got to see Venus nearby, and it was there. And next. And as I mentioned, there will be a lot of streaming opportunity and will be featured on date and time that morning on Climate Falls. NASA plans to make the coverage. Griffith Observatory, they're going to be all over the internet and they're all over the place. So if it's cloudy, not the same, but you can still resort to this, but you can also go back to it later and later. Most people are going to watch it after the football game. Say, oh, there's an eclipse. Oh, I didn't know that. Okay. Next. Okay, now let's talk about 2024. Okay. This is the path of 2024. We're going to get 20% employment. Okay, great. April, what happened here in April? Cloudy. Okay, but most of the United States is gonna be cloudy on that day, okay? Especially in the New England area. Where's everybody going?
Texas.
Texas. That's why I plan to be an awesome Texas, but I'm not doing an event. I'm just going in for myself to okay. But this is gonna be the path next. Millions and millions, much more higher population. Gonna see this particular eclipse. There's another QR code. You wanna find out if friends and family along the path. Want to call us that, hey, we'd like to come in for a visit on April 8th. What's happening on April 8th? Visit eclipse. Oh, really? Well, ticket prices for airfare? Don't know. Okay. So that's what's happening on April. This and next year. This is the annular. This is going to be the path of totality. Now, remember how long was the totality in 2017? 2 minutes. This one is going to be 4 minutes. Nice, right? Nice. Okay, next. These are all the various websites. There's lots of websites you can go to get more information about the glasses, maps, everything. They're all along there. Next. Okay. So there's the path. Look at all the populated cities along here. Next. Okay. Look at all the major populated cities. Okay, tons of them. But look how small the path is. And Carbondale, Illinois, but the center line path. Carbondale, Illinois is going to be center line for 2024. Twice. Okay? I was there in 2016 for a conference, and they are really hyped up for this. And so it's going to be a fun location. Next. Oh, I'm sorry, one more. Back up. The maximum duration is going to be down in Mexico. 4 minutes, 27 seconds. That's the maximum when the sun is directly overhead, straight down. That's where you get the maximum of the totality. Okay. So on that day, April 8th, we have perigee, remember? Perigee, apogee. Apogee means far, perigee means close. And the new moon is on the 8th. Look how close those two numbers are. 7 and 8. That's really good. Okay. 220,000 miles. That's a big difference from what we're seeing coming up on October. Huge. Okay. And the sun ratio, more than 1. The disk of the moon, much bigger than the disk of the sun. That's what creates the totality. Now, what makes it for a long eclipse is 6 minutes. 6 minutes, 7 minutes long. You have to have a perfect combination of perigee and new moon literally on the same day. Happen right together to get the maximum coverage. Okay, next. And there's the path. Look at the climate. Blue, remember, is good. Orange is bad. Texas. Texas all the way. Okay. Up here, Portland, Maine, not too good. Okay. So this is where everybody's looking. They're looking at Texas and Mexico. Other two sites next. Okay. Right down here, you can see Durango, Mexico, Texas right here. But the rest of the nation, pretty bad. Okay, next. So this is Portland, 23%. We're gonna be spoiled by 2017 and 2023. People are not gonna be very excited about this, but technically it's happening. Okay, next. Okay, that is it for my presentation. Hope you enjoyed that. Thank you very much for advancing the slides. Now, I hope you have plans now to view the eclipse and put your glasses. Okay, get your glasses is your first thing you should do. Okay. And now we take a couple of questions. I don't know if you want to do your chat questions on there.
Sure, yeah, if people at home have questions, I don't know.
If we put the chat up there too. You can close the file.
Stop screen
I
sharing.
know the challenging hybrid, but both of the astronomers, we do the same thing. We do the hybrid, and we have a membership of about 840 families. And so we get a lot of people online and then in person. So we've been doing it for the last 2 years.
Where do you get the filters for binoculars?
Question, I heard about it, yes.
Where can you buy the filters for binoculars?
Where can you get the filters for binoculars?
Oh, you could go to their website of Rainbow Symphony. Rainbow Symphony, they have them for sale. Now, we're getting close to the 14th. They may or may not be able to ship it in time. Right? Of course, go to Amazon. Okay, everything's on Amazon. And it's important that it's certified. Do not get anything less than the certification of the filter. Okay, it's not worth it to get a cheap filter. Mylar is good. White glass is even better. They're more expensive, but Mylar is cheap. Mylar can get you in trouble. Not the same Mylar as a balloon. You don't try the Mylar from the balloon. Will not work. Okay? Sunglasses will not work. Sunglasses are too dangerous. Okay? People have the temptation to wear their glasses. Okay? And you wear this over your glasses, you're fine. Okay, you're fine. But most people I've seen, I didn't put their this and your glasses are fine. Okay. I know what they're gonna gain from that. Okay, question. Make sure they're certified. Yeah, now we're done. Where you get binoculars. Okay. Any other questions?
For the total eclipse, what do I call it?
I'm sorry.
For the total eclipse, the one in April,
Yeah,
which direction do you want to be looking for that?
good question. Well, that depends on where you are. Maybe for
Texas
Portland.
or-
Yeah, for Portland, it's pretty cool. For Portland, it's gonna be nearly overhead around noon. Okay, so that's easy.
Yeah.
But if you're doing along the path,
Yeah,
okay, again, it's gonna be depending on what time the sunrise, where it is, but it's basically the day's long length. Okay, so by overhead sunset.
And Jim, will you repeat that that's for the 2024 April? That you were just, for the people at home, will you repeat that what you said in terms of the time was for the April one?
April 8th, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, overhead.
There's a question in the chat, are the 2017 glasses okay for the eclipses coming up? You talked about this earlier.
Yes, are the glasses 2017 okay? Yes, they are. But the way you touch it, you know, to hold it up against the light, we have any light coming through, scratches, throw them away. Not even the smallest one, throw them away. If they gotten wet, throw them away. Okay. That's a good question. Notification means everything.
All right,
Okay.
thank you. Another round of applause.